Scott, obviously have to change from Gardner to another quarterback to be determined at this point, I guess. How difficult is that, switching gears and now maybe trying to prepare two different quarterbacks for Friday?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the challenge. I mean, this league, injuries are a part of it. Unfortunate what happened with Gardner. We got a short week, so obviously the timeline is kind of sped up. We're going to evaluate those guys. Ultimately, coach will make the decision on who we're going with. But yeah, I mean, you got to get somebody ready to play in a short period of time. But there's nothing you can do about it. You got to control what you can control, and whoever that ends up being, like, they'll be ready to go, and we'll give them the best chance possible to go be successful.
Are there enough similarities between the two that you could build something that can fit both of them? Or
yeah, there's just enough. We have enough offensively that we can kind of play to our guys' strength as much as possible.
So like last week, you guys were having pretty good success running the ball, but the attempts weren't there. Is there a reason why you guys didn't lean more into the run game?
Yeah, that was one of the things looking back at it. Probably wanted to get a few more carries. We came out in the third quarter. We went a little up tempo. Unfortunately, had the turnover, and then had a couple runs after that, and then we just got in one of those deals where wasn't sure how many possessions we'd have left. So we were pretty successful throwing the ball. You know what I mean? We moved the ball throwing it as well. I think you look back at it, there was probably a couple there that could have run. We had the one negative run after the explosive run. They kind of set us behind the sticks, and then, it's tough to run the ball in those situations. So, that's always something that we look at. The one thing that I took from it positively was, we had some good runs, so that's something that we can build on going forward.
Some of those maybe most impressive runs were by Sincere McCormick. What stands out about him? What allowed him to make an impact?
You see it all the time in this league. Guy that's kind of, been on practice squad, been around a few years, really just kind of trusted the process, worked hard, and then when he got his opportunity, he made the most of it. He's got good vision. He was decisive, with his run reads, and Line did a great job of blocking people, and he saw it and hit it and was able to gain yards.
Brock Bowers is drawing more attention from defenses and drawing their better defenders. What are you guys doing, I guess, to try and make sure that he can still get some touches, maybe more than he had last Sunday?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he had 10 targets, and they did. I mean, we were still trying to get it to him, even with Surtain on him. They put Surtain a lot. And that's, things like that are going to happen. We can move him around a little bit more. We have moved him around, and we can do more of that. The one thing, though, that happened, it was good to see, you got a guy, Jacoby had 121 yards and Tuck had 82, so those guys stepping up when they're putting a lot of focus on Brock, that helps everybody. That helps Brock, going forward, but also just, our offense moving the ball.
It's got the heritage of the offense that you work with your father and Don Coryell. Tight ends have always been a pretty big part of it. You guys have had some Hall of Famers at that position. But has that position changed over the years in terms of how you guys are utilizing them, or are we just kind of caught up in the moment?
No, I think it has. I think a lot of it has to do with the individual. Different guys are going to be able to do different things. I mean, Brock, is unique that he can do a lot of different things. He's split out sometimes, and again, he's drawn the team's best corner and coverage. It's, obviously a future Hall of Famer, but like when I wasn't there, but when my dad coached with the Chargers, and they had Antonio Gates, and he's a different player than Brock, but as far as a receiving threat, you know what I mean. Obviously, he was a team someone that everyone worried about. So yeah, I think based off of the skill set of the tight end, that you've had over the years, then it just determines the different things you can do with them. And then we always try to be creative and try to look and see what other people are doing, and maybe someone is doing something with it's not a tight end, but we think, hey, we can put Brock on this, or Mike even, or just try to kind of keep evolving and keep moving forward in that direction.
Is there anything that the Chiefs do with Travis Kelce?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of stuff that they do, and we've looked at that in the off season or from week to week, something that pops up when you're kind of doing your film study.
Scott, you mentioned you guys had some more successful runs than in the past. Was there anything differently you guys were doing up front with the offensive line to create those opportunities?
I don't know if it would say different. I think those guys have done a great job. 2 games in a row, the same 5 guys playing. I think Coach Philbin's doing a great job with those guys about just the fundamentals of, pad level, double teams, making sure we've got hat placement, all those types of things. I think the communication's been good. And I think they're playing fast, and then just trying to build a little bit of confidence. And, when you have some runs like that, that helps that as well.
Obviously, the first week was pretty chaotic. Everything kind of, all the changes that were made before that. Did last week feel like it slowed down a little bit more normal?
I don't know if necessarily that's the case. It was still, it was a little bit more normal because it was a normal like weekly schedule, but it's still, to me, like the way we're approaching this is just one week at a time, so I guess however many games we have left now. So it's just, 1 week seasons, and so every week's different. Obviously this week's a little bit unique because of the schedule. We got to travel and we play on a Friday. So, but it's the Chiefs. We know them, we know, kind of have a little bit idea what to expect, and just gonna go get a plan together and go play.
Scott, as the pass game coordinator the past couple of years, you had a more of a personal relationship with Aiden. What about him stood out to you in terms of him being able to come in kind of cold last year like he did, and then potentially this weekend?
Yeah, he's a confident guy. He has a really good personality. Like he's really good with the group. He's not from your guys' perspective. You probably don't see him as overly vocal, but in the huddle, he takes control. Works extremely hard. Football's really important to him, and he's really smart. He has a good football IQ, feel for the game. So the guys, I think immediately had a respect for him, just the way he approaches his job. So for him to go in there, they know that if he says something, then they know that he knows what he's talking about, and the guys will listen. And he's got a little natural leadership to him that way. I think he does a great job of throwing the football. He makes quick decisions, so the ball comes out, and he has the ability to push it down the field a little bit. So, if we feel good about Aiden and he's good to go, then I'm excited to see where this process leads.
You have what have you seen out of Desmond as well in the past month plus he's been?
Yeah, same thing. He's kind of a fiery guy. As a quarterback, you can tell he's very competitive. He stepped right in there and not ideal situation and was able to move the ball. I know we would have liked to finish that drive better. But this is his third team, but it's only his third year in the league. But he has a veteran presence to him. Understands what it takes, to succeed as a quarterback as far as off the field and what's asked of you. And a little bit different skill set, obviously, but mentally, he's serious and focused.
You have a 10-year vet and Ameer Abdullah, who's seen the end zone twice in the past 2 games. Just wondering, one, how much does his experience that he brings to the game help some of the younger running backs? And in addition to that, just how implemental is it to get him more involved in the game? Yeah,
Ameer is one of those guys that has a wide skill set. He can run, he can pass pro, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. Both of the touchdowns have been on receptions. He had a couple nice runs in this past game as well. But no, he's another guy, like he's here every morning with his routine early morning and keeping his body ready to play, as an older player. I think the younger backs kind of see that as someone that they can emulate because I think they all want their career to last that long. It's tough, especially at that position in this league. So, he's always kind of ready to go. He can fill in at any different aspect, and we're going to continue to play multiple backs. We're not going to just lean on, one guy. We might lean on the hot hand if it's going, but they all have different skill sets. I mean, like we talked about Sincere, he did some nice things. We'll see more of him. We'll see more of Ameer and, some other guys as well.
Awesome, guys.
What have you seen from Steve Spagnuolo and his time in Kansas City that's helped make that defense so successful?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great coach. I've, gone against him in the past. He likes to be multiple with the defense. Obviously the pressure packages. He's got an elaborate pressure package, but it's not just that. I mean, it's just solid defense. They do a great job, giving you different looks. Obviously, 95 is a great player, so you always got to be aware of him and account for him. But no, he's really built that thing up, and those guys, you can tell they know what to do. The linebackers do a great job of getting everybody lined up, and then obviously making plays as well. But they're flying around, they play fast, and you can't make mistakes because they'll look to capitalize.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, Coach.